get our acceleration here with the Wrangler Eco-Diesel. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon with the Eco-Diesel engine. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Provo for providing us with the Wrangler. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get right into the video. Under the hood of the Eco-Diesel, we have a turbocharged 3-liter V6. Obviously, it's a diesel engine that puts out 260 horsepower and then 442 pound-feet of torque, and then fuel economy is 21 around town and then 26 on the highway. Now let's go over the front end on the Wrangler. So first off, let's go over everything with the hood. So you get kind of like the sport venting here with the hood, and then you can actually lower down the windshield onto those two little rubber things, and then you can see the headlights right here are full LEDs, and then you can see the running light there on the side, which is also the turn signal, and then you get the whole blacked out grille, which is just body painted, and this one just has the regular plastic bumper. So if you wanted to go to like an aftermarket bumper, this is a lot less expensive to replace. And then you can see you've got the red tow hooks as well, but there is a full front end look on the Wrangler. Now around the side here, we've got 285mm tires. They're 33s wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And since this is the Rubicon, you can see that you've got the upgraded shocks here for the front end, and I'll show you guys everything in the back end in just a moment. But remember, you get lockers on the front and the rear, and again you got the Rubicon there on the side of the hood. Got the Jeep badge as well, but other than that, pretty standard setup. This one does have a body painted hardtop. You can see all there on the rear end is body painted. Let's go into the rear of the Eco-Diesel Wrangler. So you can see we've got a bunch of bags back here, license plate cover, all that kind of stuff. But more importantly, under here, this is where you're going to store all of the bolts here if you actually take off the hard top. So it's pretty cool they have that. Get a 12-volt back here, and then notice that this is body painted even back here on this. So obviously if you have the top off, then you can still have the body painted color show out. And then yes, it does come with the Alpine sound system. And then here's how much storage space it has with the seats all folded down here in the rear. So it's actually a pretty decent amount. Now let's finish things in the back. Yes, you've got the spare tire there on the rear, and then you can see you've got full LED lights, Eco-Diesel badge. That's the only way you can tell this is an Eco-Diesel other than looking under the hood. And then you got a little red tow hook there. And then you can see all the way back here, you've got the backup camera in the center of the tire mounted carrier. But other than that, you can see everything for the rear. And this looks really good with the body painted hardtop, by the way. Now here's the door panel in the rear. You can see that you've got the stitching all along here with the soft touch, and it is red stitching, which I really like, and that comes with the Rubicon. And then see with the seats, that kind of red stitching continues there on the bottom portion with the leather. But let's actually pop in. So you don't really need running boards. It's pretty easy to get in, and you can see headroom is pretty decent. This one actually has the insulation at the top. And then you can see the legroom is also pretty good. Got a little cargo net right there. Couple of vents, you've got your windows, full power outlet just right there on that little part, and then this pulls down to be some cup holders in the rear. It's kind of hard to pull it out. You gotta like use a little bit of force. There we go. But you can see that pulls out, and you've got a couple cup holders right here, and then you could put a key here in the back, which I don't know why you do that, but you can. And other than that, this is everything for the rear. Coming here to the front, you can see that red stitching continues, and then you got another cargo net right here. Got the little door latch, and then you can see you've got the adjustments for the mirror, the door lock and unlock. And then here are the seats at the front. Again, it says Rubicon there at the top. You got the stitching all along down to the bottom portion of the seats, manually adjustable. And then you can see over here you got the little pedal layout right there, and then you've got all the controls for the lights. You do have fog lights on top of that, and then got the adjustment for the steering wheel. And there's one more look before we actually pop in. Now here's the steering wheel with the Rubicon. You've got the smooth leather all the way around, and then you've got the red stitching on the inside. And then you can see you've got the cruise control over here on this side. On the other side, you got the voice commands, and then the controls for the center stack. Radio controls on the back of the steering wheel. And then you got your stock for the turn signal, and then the windshield wiper on the other side, and that is all. Now here on the center screen, we can see you've got RPMs on the left side. On the right side, you've got the speed, and then there in the very far center screen, we can see there's different bits of information. The one thing that I think is pretty cool is the off-road status. So it's just right here, it's the third one down, and then you can see it also shows you if the sway bar is connected or not, which I think is pretty neat with all the functionality on that. And other than that, that is the center screen. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, we'll pop it into reverse. You can see the backup camera will pop up with it. Pretty straightforward. Again, there's parking sensors in the rear of the Jeep, and that'll pop up there on that little center screen. Now, the rest of the infotainment system, you guys know response time is really good. You do get heated seats and a heated steering wheel, which for this time of the year, it's pretty nice. I mean, 50 degrees outside, not too bad, but it's about to get colder. But yeah, response time on the touchscreen is super solid. And then there are the off-road pages. While that's loading up, really nice stitching here on the dash. It's the red stitching they kind of continue, which I think is definitely a cool look, and all the red accenting all the way around. Then you can see the little Jeep crawling across with the off-road pages. But you can see it just shows you what you're in with the drive line, and then the accessory gauges, the pitch and the roll, all that kind of stuff. Pretty straightforward. I guess we're 1 degree and 1 degree. Interesting. Now down below the screen we've got a bunch of stuff. So you've got your climate controls. It is a dual zone climate in the Rubicon. And then coming over here, we can see you've got the screen off. I love how the circulation has a Jeep. That's pretty cool. Your off-road cruise control, parking sensors, you got your stability control as well. I'm turning that off actually. Auto stop start. And then you can see you've got our window controls right here. You've got your little media area and then a full 12 volt. And then down here you've got some of the auxiliary switches. And then you got the off-road plus, you got your sway bar, disconnect, and then you've got the front and rear lockers or the rear only. And then we've got our shifter for that 8-speed automatic. If you want to shift the gears yourself, it's got that manual mode right there. And then you got your drive line selects. You've got your 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, neutral, and then your 4-wheel low. Now coming in this whole area, we've got the shifter, again with the red stitching. And then you can see you've got the cup holders where you can actually put a key there in the center. And then you got the center console, which lifting this up, you can see storage space, pretty decent. Another little USB right there, and then you can kind of thread through a cable either way on the side right there. And then they do the red here as well. And then coming to the glove box, you can see pretty normal glove box. Got that Wrangler grab handle, and that's all for that. Popping up top, we got universal garage door openers, and again, this one has the insulation. I recommend getting this in if you don't already have it on your Wrangler or Gladiator. And then you can see you've got everything for the roof. You can take this part off just with these latches. For the rest, you do need tools, but not too difficult at all. Now that we're done going over the interior, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this Wrangler with the Eco-Diesel and the Rubicon package stickers are about $61,000 before any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take this Wrangler out and see how it drives. Let's quickly talk about visibility here in the Rubicon before we set off. So you can see visibility over the hood. Normal for Rubicon. You got visibility through the mirrors. Remember, they do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's all throughout the rest of the rear. So in the Wranglers is actually pretty good. And that all being said, let's set off. Now we are initially setting off here in the Gladiator Rubicon, and let's quickly talk about the road noise and the ride quality first and foremost, and also kind of the turning right here. So going around, the Jeep definitely feels like really small. That's one thing I love about Wranglers, is just how small they feel. And I just drove a Gladiator before this, and you can definitely tell the size difference between both of them. But in terms of the noise, you guys can hear quite a bit from the diesel, but I actually enjoy it. I think it's just like a nice little grumble to hear as you're driving along. And it's so cool. You guys probably can't see it, but to see the reflection there on the windows of the Wrangler with the LED lights looks really good. But getting up and going on the road, just listen to that. Sounds manly. That's the best way to put it. But on the road here so far for a Wrangler, definitely pretty smooth actually. Not as smooth as the Gladiator I just drove. And my guess is just because this is shorter, so it just doesn't have that same smooth ride quality. And coming up here to this roundabout, let's kind of get our brake test in on it. Yeah, so the brakes are really solid. That would be really good on the off-road here. And let's kind of see how the turning is. Let's see if this person's crossing the street here. Yes, no, maybe so. Nope. Good to go. But yeah, going through the roundabout, again, super good. And as an overall package, with the insulation here on the top, definitely helps out a bunch. tons of torque so far. We'll kind of get a little bit more into that once we get our acceleration. But yeah, really easy maneuvers. So like overall, you can imagine taking this on the off-road, it would do a really good job at that. And we'll kind of see how the traffic is coming up to here. Yeah, it just has so much torque, like you really don't have to get into it at all for it to go. Now let's get our acceleration here with the Wrangler Eco-Diesel. Oh, it has so much torque. Yeah, that's crazy. This just accelerates unlike any other Wrangler. Any other Wrangler, you just don't get that same feeling of torque, and so it just feels like it kind of dies, whereas this, it's got some pep in its step, is the best way to put it. Like, it really moves just so well. And that'll actually get me into summing things up with this Wrangler Eco-Diesel. So I definitely think that the Rubicon trim is the trim to go for with this Eco-Diesel, because this is going to be a great engine for the off-road. Just all of that torque off the line is going to be just super beneficial for you. And then another huge benefit of this Eco-Diesel, obviously it's going to get better fuel economy. You'll have better range, so you'll be able to go a longer distance with this as well. So again, just like as an overall package, really solid. And I would definitely recommend it. I know that there's some people that might say some things about the reliability concerns of the Eco-Diesel, this and that, but that's what a warranty's for, folks. And as long as it's under warranty, you are good to go. And so I think that this would be a really fun off-road vehicle, get good gas mileage, and that's all. That is going to sum things up for our video on this Jeep Wrangler with the Eco-Diesel. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram here in Provo for providing us with the Wrangler. Check out the inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in the next video.